Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
For all TV's internet mobile device, which are broadcast through live streaming apps of both iOS and Android operating system. Also, we are 24-hour live news network on Amazon Fire Stick, Roku Stick, Apple TV, Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, all European countries, Austria, available with Sky Network worldwide. Again, I am your host, Curtis Douglas Eel, and I'm here today with the National Grand Sheik of the United Moorish Science Temple of America, Nathaniel Booth Hill. How are you doing today, my brother?
All is truly well. A little cold, but all right.
It is great seeing you. I know you recently you were awarded certain accolades at the Young Gifted Awards here in New York, in Queens. Can you tell us a little bit about that award and just the experience?
Yes, I was invited to the YGB Awards and Gala here in New York. I was invited to be the keynote speaker. It's an award that is given to the unsung heroes of the melanated community, those who do not receive much press from your general outlets for their work, either in the community or in their field of profession. And so being that I'm a part of the Moorish Science Temple, United Moorish Science Temple of America, and some of the work that we do involves uplifting the community, helping to create businesses and various different outreach programs, charitable outreach programs. I was nominated for an award, and I was able to also become the keynote speaker of the event. I spoke on the entrepreneurial spirit, as it was an entrepreneurial award, Millennium Business Award. So I spoke on the entrepreneurial spirit and how it relates to the movement of melanated people in the United States of America. I touched on some topics that were related to the obstacles and the challenges that we face in being entrepreneurs, and how that entrepreneurial spirit is connected with the do for self and self-determination spirit of our movement. Mm-hmm. And I also spoke on the need for us to begin to have a deeper appreciation for our own culture and more knowledge of self, which relates to some of the chattel terms that we still accept today, stemming from slavery. And for the most part, it was well received. I received the award and also some other awards as well.
That is awesome. Can you get a little bit more in detail as to some of the awards? If you know, based on the news feed that we did here at Millennium News TV 24, I saw that you got acknowledged by the mayoral office as well as you know, the Senator of New York. Can you speak a little bit to those awards that you received?
Yeah, so to my surprise, when I was receiving the award from YGB, there were also three other documents or awards that came with that. One was a citation from the mayor's office. One was a proclamation from the House of Representatives of the state of New York. And then also from, I believe, Senator Parker, who had spearheaded the House of Resolution excuse me, the resolution on the Senate floor honoring myself for the work that I do in the community. And I received them all at the same time. And as I read them, I realized that they had taken information from my bio that was given to YGB and that's in their publication for the awards, and crafted some very beautiful documents that kind of outline some of my journey from my teenage years up until now. And so I was very appreciative to receive those awards as well, and also appreciative of the community, the Moorish Science Temple of America here in New York, that nominated me for the award.
Beautiful. Let me be able to congratulate you as well.
Thank you very much.
You know, it is always an honor to see one's actually grew up in a society and pretty much, you know, make an impact in their community. You know, being the host of this show, Universal Pathways, I'm truly honored to be sitting with you, you know, in your title as the National Grand Sheik of the United Moorish Science Temple of America. So clearly, you know, you grew up in the movement. Can you speak a little bit to that?
Yes. So I came to the movement at an early age. I joined the Moorish Science Circle in Long Beach, California, while still in high school at Long Beach Polytechnic High School. Actually, a little bit before that, I began to study with the Science Circle and from Long Beach to Los Angeles, and eventually I did join and develop the tools as an organizer and a minister and teacher of Moorish science. So while I was in high school, I actually, with the assistance of the brothers and sisters that were my mentors at that time, founded the Moorish Chess Club at Long Beach Polytechnic High School, which was a club that was designed to teach those people who misnomer under the terms Black, Negro, colored, things of that nature that delude to slavery, about their true history and their true heritage, and also about not only their nationality, but their divine creed as well. It was a high school organization, so it was just a basic introduction. From that point forward, I remained in the Moorish Divine and National Movement until I became officer and pretty much held each position within the 7 governing heads until I became a Grand Sheik. I later joined, coming from the Science Circle, the Moorish Science Temple of America, and began to write books. I authored several books that were geared towards not so much the learned in Moorish science, but those who really didn't have any idea about what Moorish science was, Moorish history, so that we could, in my mind, the teachings should go beyond the temple. It was no need to write or try to teach people who already knew the science and had a working understanding of it. And so some of the books that I wrote also received mentions and reviews, good reviews online at the time. And so I've pretty much just been dedicated my life to the Moorish movement. It's been over 30 years since I've been participating in the movement at various levels. And today I find myself as the National Grand Sheik of the United Moorish Science Temple of America, which is a united group of temples that are attempting to forge a unity movement in the Moorish community. Oftentimes we can become divided over our ideological beliefs or the differences, which are minute differences in our ideological belief. So we seek to heal these what we call generational curses in our movement, and to bridge those divides so that we can have greater power amongst ourselves, greater social, economic, and political power amongst ourselves as Moorish Americans in this country.
That's a beautiful point to segue to a commercial break at this point. Again, I'm your host, Curtis Douglas Ill, and I'm with Nathaniel Booth Hill, is the National Grand Chief of the United Moorish Science Temple of America. We'll be back in about 1 minute.
Welcome to Millennium News 24, your trusted source for accurate, unbiased news. We're here to bring you the stories that matter most from America and around the world with integrity and a commitment to truth. In today's world, where misinformation can easily spread, having access to reliable news is more important than ever. At Millennium News 24, we aim to cut through the noise by delivering clear, fact-based reporting. Whether you're following major events or looking for in-depth analysis, we are here to serve you with transparency and respect for all communities regardless of color, wealth, or religion. This beautiful America was built by the resilience of its people, immigrants, entrepreneurs, doctors, and everyday individuals working together to create something great. It's this spirit that inspires us to provide you with news that's inclusive, honest, and relevant. We believe that informed citizens are the foundation of a strong society, and we strive to give you the knowledge you need to make a difference. From breaking news to insightful features, we bring you comprehensive coverage on politics, economics, health, culture, and much more. We believe that everyone deserves access to the truth, and we are proud to be a part of a global network that connects people through information. Stay informed by following us on your devices, including iOS, Android, Roku, Amazon, Apple TV, and Smart TVS. And for global access, we're also available on Horizon Satellite. Visit us at www.millenniumtv24.com or www.millenniumnews24.com to stay updated at Millennium News 24. Our mission is to promote unity, understanding, and progress in a rapidly changing world. Join us as we work to inspire positive action through the power of truth. Thank you for watching. Follow us, subscribe, and stay informed.
Welcome back to Millennium News TV, 24-hour news. I'm Curtis Douglas Ill, the host of Universal Pathways, and I'm here with Nathaniel Booth Ill, the Grand Chief, National Grand Chief of the United Moorish Science Temple of America. Welcome back. Right before the break, you mentioned bridges, which is a very good point, which I want to just pick up on that point, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of those ways do you think that can heal and bring about unity in the pathway of more science that you spoke to just now? What are some of those ways?
Well, I understand that regardless of the faith, regardless of the religion, regardless of the organization, the nation, etc., that there's going to be diverse degrees of understanding. There are those who often think that one's understanding is the only understanding, or that I should say perception. One's perception is the only perception or one way of going about a thing. And this can keep us from realizing the greater sense of unity amongst ourselves. So open and dialogue with other, the Moorish Science Temple of America is composed of temples. Mm-hmm. And due to some of the history in the Moorish Science Temple of America divides decades ago, these arguments of those who are dead and gone persist inside the movement today. And so I think one of the crucial aspects of getting to that healing is not focusing so much on the past, but focusing on how can we chart a course in the future, mm-hmm. where we're not divided, where we're not weakened by this divide, and that we can have, again, greater social, economic power and political power. amongst ourselves, like every other body of people. So open and dialogue is one of those ways so that we can communicate with each other, and also focusing on the universal principles, focusing on the things that we have in common, as opposed to focusing on the things that we may differ on. So much emphasis in the past has been placed on the differences of each temple, each body of Moors, that again, it leads to this type of confusion and division in our community. So focusing on what we have in common. And then, you know, when you speak about unity and unifying, if you ask 5 different people, they're going to give you 5 different definitions.
Indeed.
So instead of trying to focus on unity as an ideological thing, focusing on it, the unity that addresses the common needs of our community. We all need better schooling. We all need better healthcare. We all need certain things that all other people need. And in the Moorish movement, which is a do for self movement, we want to be able to have self-determination and do these things for ourselves. So focusing on coming together so that we can create these institutions and attend to our own needs, where our needs are being tended to by others, which often can cause us to maybe have to compromise some of our principles just to have those needs met. And that's the beauty of self-determination. In a society which is multinational and multicultural, sometimes you may have to depend on others for needs that if you were meeting those needs yourself, you wouldn't necessarily need to compromise any of your principles. So I think focusing on unity of action and unity of purpose is a great place to start.
That is a great point. Can you speak a little bit to some of the Bridging the Gap initiatives that you might be taking in regards to ones who might have not heard about Moorish science? In other words, they're new to it. You know, they might still think that they're going according to some of the misnomers, whether it be black, colored, etc. Can you speak a little bit to that? What are some of the things that the Moorish Science Temple of America, the United Moorish Science Temple of America, is actively doing to bridge those gaps?
So the original Moorish Science Temple of America, which was founded by Noble Jew Ali in 1913, was brought about to introduce our people back to their original names of their forefathers, i.e. nationality, and their divine creed. Our creed is love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And our faith is Islam. And we understand that if you look at Islam around the world today, there's a lot of practice that seems to be lacking of the love universally. And so our understanding is to practice Islam within our creed of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and emphasizing those principles, which we understand that to be the highest principles that man can focus on. Noble Jew Ali taught us that melanated people in this country were under the chattel terms such as Negro, colored folk, Black people, Ethiopians, etc., and that these terms delude to slavery, and that they were placed upon melanated people 1774 up until 1865 during the time of slavery, and that this is a new era of time now. We're no longer enslaved physically, and so we have the option to now cast off these chattel terms. And the term of preference for Noble Jew Ali was Moorish, or Moorish American, I should say, which means descendants of the ancient Moroccan Empire and born in America. And so by tracing our lineage to ancient Morocco, which is not the same as the modern Morocco that developed its independence in 1956. It's a vast empire that spans various lands across the globe. that we would be able to reconnect with what our forefathers' principles that were taught, and that we could better empower ourselves under more genuine terms as opposed to the chattel terms. In essence, giving back these terms is ending our mental slavery. And so this is the foundation of what Moorish science teaches. Many nationalities around the world may wonder why Moors place an emphasis on nationality. It's not that Moors place an emphasis on nationality, it's that everyone else has one. Indeed. Except for us. And so it's a human right for us to have one, and self-identification is the rule. So to answer your question, there are these ideological differences on how to bring that about. Our program, as the United Moorish Science Temple of America, bringing these, hopefully bringing and encouraging other groups of Moors who may be averse to one another to come together to do charitable works, which we have branches in Hawaii, Arizona, New York, Los Angeles, Oakland, so on and so forth. So in our Oakland territories, we focus a lot on charity. We feed hundreds of people every week, sometimes, close to 1,000 or over 1,000 a week, by partnering with other Islamic centers to feed the people, which Oakland really needs this help and support right now. In Hawaii, we're focusing on sustainable living, building a Moorish American village so that Moors will have a place to come, commune together, meet, an environment which is conducive to bring about unity. It's a beautiful land, and also to carry out workshops such as solar workshops, water catchment, and again, really address the needs of self-sustainability. Mm-hmm. So by focusing on programs such as these are just a couple of programs to name, by focusing on what we need as a community and taking the emphasis off of our ideological differences, we believe that we can achieve a greater sense of unity amongst the bands of our society.
Oh, well said. One of the things I'd love for you to speak about once we come back from this break is the fact that you're also bridging the gap in changing the literature. Prophet Noble Drew said, in order to change the people, got to change their literature. So hold that thought. We're going to go to a break again. So please join us.
Welcome to Millennium News 24, your trusted source for accurate, unbiased news. We're here to bring you the stories that matter most from America and around the world, with integrity and a commitment to truth. In today's world, where misinformation can easily spread, having access to reliable news is more important than ever. At Millennium News 24, we aim to cut through the noise by delivering clear, fact-based reporting. Whether you're following major events or looking for in-depth analysis, we are here to serve you with transparency and respect for all communities regardless of color, wealth, or religion. This beautiful America was built by the resilience of its people, immigrants, entrepreneurs, doctors, and everyday individuals working together to create something great. It's this spirit that inspires us to provide you with news that's inclusive, honest, and relevant. We believe that informed citizens are the foundation of a strong society, and we strive to give you the knowledge you need to make a difference. From breaking news to insightful features, we bring you comprehensive coverage on politics, economics, health, culture, and much more. We believe that everyone deserves access to the truth, and we are proud to be a part of a global network that connects people through information. Stay informed by following us on your devices, including iOS, Android, Roku, Amazon, Apple TV, and Smart TVS. And for global access, we're also available on Horizon Satellite. Visit us at www.millenniumtv24.com or www.millenniumnews24.com to stay updated at Millennium News 24. Our mission is to promote unity, understanding, and progress in a rapidly changing world. Join us as we work to inspire positive action through the power of truth. Thank you for watching. Follow us, subscribe, and stay informed.
Welcome back to Millennium TV USA, Millennium TV 24 News. This is Universal Pathways, and I'm your host, Curtis Douglas Ill, and I'm here with the National Grand Sheik of the United Moor Science Temple of America, our good brother Nathaniel Booth Ill. Right before the break, I was really getting into the fact that he's also an author of over 13 books, and he himself has done a lot to bridge the gap. So we just want to take the balance of this show today. And again, thank him as well for allowing me to launch this show, Universal Pathways, with you here today. So with that being said, I just want to give you the opportunity to speak to some of those books that you've written.
Yes. So I started with, when I was writing books, again, I wanted to write literature to introduce people to the concepts of nationality, of being a Moor, and also some of the tenets of being a part of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Moor is, or Moorish American is the nationality, whereas the Moorish Science Temple of America deals also with the faith of Islam, but also the religion, which we call Islamism, which is Islam not divorced from the political, social, and economic aspects of life. I started with a book known as Moors, What They Didn't Teach You in Black History Class. Because again, many of our melanated people under the term Black, that accept the term Black to describe themselves, find knowledge about themselves within the confines of Black history. So I wanted to connect this word Moor with Black history so that ones could see themselves in it. Mm-hmm. And when we study Moorish history, some people say, well, how do you go from Moor to Black? What do so-called Black people have to do with Moor? So I wrote my second book, which was Blackamoor, Bridging the Gap Between Black and Moor. Many people do not know that before so-called Black people in this country began to be known as Negro, Black, colored, so on and so forth, there was a term known as Blackamoor. And this term Blackamoor was older than Black, mm-hmm. and older than Negro, and it was used up until the 1800s. So on the cover, it says Blackamoor. So I used this term to illustrate the linguistic, quote unquote, genocide of the so-called Black people in America, meaning them being divorced from their culture and creed. So when you look at the word Blackamoor, you see two words, Black and Moor. So we say first we were Moor, mm-hmm. then we were known as Blackamoor, and now we're just known as Black. So the identity was taken off of the Blackamoor, and we were just left with Black. And it's a very good book and introduction. It shows how this word has been used historically, mm-hmm. and how it applied to so-called Black people before they began to adopt that name for themselves. And this word is a bridge word to get them to jump to Moorish history and culture, which many of my books, along with other books that are out there, deal with the history of the Moors in Spain, the history of the Moors in the Americas, the history of the Moors in the Philippines, which used to be known as the Moro Islands before it was named after King Philip. There are no Philippines. They weren't his children. And you see many of them fighting to retain their Moro identity, just as the Moors in the United States are fighting to retain their identity. I also deal with ancient language and being adept in the language of Arabic and studying ancient languages. I realized that Arabic, Hebrew, Aramaic, and even what they call Paleo-Hebrew or Sinaitic all share the same abjad alphabet, if you will. It's more like an aleph ta
Mhm.
structure, where they abjad is basically an alphabet in a sense that has a particular structure. In essence, the vowels or the consonants ab, ba, ja, da,
Mhm.
ha, wa, za, kalamana, so on and so forth. They're all shared with these ancient languages.
Mhm.
And so I wrote this book, Moabite Key, because the Moabite script as well shares the same script as ancient Hebrew, Aramaic, Nabatean, uh, Arabic, Hebrew, so on and so forth, to show the richness of the culture of Moors and ancient Moors, and also to help introduce ones to that ancient language and script. In the conscious community amongst the population known as Black, a lot of emphasis was placed on Egyptian culture and Egyptian science. And as a result, a treasure trove of information regarding the quote unquote Semitic history
Mhm.
was cast aside and left aside. And so I tended to focus there in that book, so that ones could see themselves in that regard. So my books range from history to language, etymology, and also books on Islam. I also have a book known as Al Munafiqun, or the dissemblers, or the what some might call the hypocrites, which are the 5 signs if one is not genuine with themselves, basically. And it wasn't designed so much as for one to use to determine if someone else was exhibiting these signs, but used as a self-help and a self-development book so that one could be a better Muslim. So these are some of the books that I've written, and they've been well received and have received various reviews. It was by the HBCU Lifestyle website, one of the top 6 books that every melanated person should read. Allblackmedia.com also dubbed it one of the 15 books that all so-called Black people should read. Short Form has given it good reviews. The Book Authority, my book Murder More, was given one of the top 100 best etymology books, and at one point it was number 2. I think it's number 12 now.
Mhm.
So these are some of the books that I've written and the topics that I address to help to uplift the mindset of our people who may not have access to this information.
Well said. Would you say that you write from more so a universal perspective, trying to reach the mass audience, similar to how more science is? Because the terminology, we honor all divine prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and Confucius. Can you speak a little bit to that universality as we get ready to close out?
Yeah, so anybody can read my books. Anybody that's interested in history, history that is not the normal history that you see, some hidden history, so to speak, or history that's not focused on language, etymology, phonology, semantics, any of these subjects, and also Islamic psychology. I also have a book known as The Higher Self, Lower Self, Self-Development According to Islamism, which deals with ilmun nafs, or the Islamic psychology. In our teachings, as you said, we honor all true and divine prophets, and some of the prophets enumerated are Jesus or Isa, some know as Yahshua, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, peace be upon them all. And as Moors, as Moorish American, we study all literature. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said to seek knowledge even unto China.
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't shy away from any of the holy books, because we understand that Islam is, in our eyes, which is the way of submission. It just means the way of submission, one who submits to the will of God. You others may know God by another name. We know him as Allah. Some may know him as Jah or Jehovah or other terms. But whoever submits to the one God, and prior to revelations like the Holy Quran of Mecca, all of these people who followed the one God by whatever name, Il or Ilion, were Muslim in that right. They were Muslim in that right. And the Holy Quran teaches us that each will receive their reward with their Lord. There are many people who have never heard the words of Islam, but have heard the words of ancient faiths and do their best to follow those tenets and those universal principles. And so we believe in a law of love that wouldn't punish someone for merely not knowing if they were upright in character. And the quickest way and the best way to serve the one creator that goes by many names is to serve your fellow man. Mm-hmm. And so we place emphasis on serving our fellow man through charitable works, through community outreach, education, and various other services. And I think that this is a great universal approach, loving and not demanding love in return, not demanding that somebody believe or have faith that we do, that the way that we do, but yet showing them our humanity is the best way to get someone interested in our creed and in our faith. And not that we even do it for that, but we do it for the sake of just providing help and salvation to others.
Thank you for that insight. There you have it. We just have some dialogue here with Nathaniel Booth Ill, the National Grand Chief of the United Moore Science Temple of America, letting us know that Moore science is truly universal in its teaching. And we ourselves are here uplifting humanity on such a vast scale. He's the author of over 13 books. We definitely go to a break and come back and just close out this show. Again, I'm your host, Curtis Douglas Ill, and this is Universal Pathway. Going to a break before we close out.
Welcome to Millennium News 24, your trusted source for accurate, unbiased news. We're here to bring you the stories that matter most from America and around the world with integrity and a commitment to truth. In today's world, where misinformation can easily spread, having access to reliable news is more important than ever. At Millennium News 24, we aim to cut through the noise by delivering clear, fact-based reporting. Whether you're following major events or looking for in-depth analysis, we are here to serve you with transparency and respect for all communities regardless of color, wealth, or religion. This beautiful America was built by the resilience of its people, immigrants, entrepreneurs, doctors, and everyday individuals working together to create something great. It's this spirit that inspires us to provide you with news that's inclusive, honest, and relevant. We believe that informed citizens are the foundation of a strong society, and we strive to give you the knowledge you need to make a difference. From breaking news to insightful features, we bring you comprehensive coverage on politics, economics, health, culture, and much more. We believe that everyone deserves access to the truth, and we are proud to be a part of a global network that connects people through information. Stay informed by following us on your devices, including iOS, Android, Roku, Amazon, Apple TV, and Smart TVS. And for global access, we're also available on Horizon Satellite. Visit us at www.millenniumtv24.com or www.millenniumnews24.com to stay updated at Millennium News 24. Our mission is to promote unity, understanding, and progress in a rapidly changing world. Join us as we work to inspire positive action through the power of truth. Thank you for watching. Follow us, subscribe, and stay informed.
Welcome back to Universal Pathways. I'm your host, Curtis Douglas Ill, and I'm here with Nathaniel Booth Ill, the National Grand Chief of the United Moore Science Temple of America. This is the last 10 minutes of our segment of our show here today, and I'm truly, truly honored to be here with the National Grand Chief of the United Moore Science Temple of America. I myself, as a Moorish American, have studied Moore science for years, but his numbers go way beyond mine. And I'm truly learning a lot from listening to him today and also through just mentorship, because we're actually connected in the United Moore Science Temple of America. With that being said, I'm reminded of one of the questions that's asked of all Moorish Americans. And it said, how did the prophet begin to uplift the Moorish American? By teaching them to be themselves. We have here today an author of over 13 books, but I want to speak specifically now and dive specifically in, how are Moors being taught to be themselves? We know that there are two selves. Most people don't know that there are two selves. So can you speak to the higher self and to the lower self as we move into this last 10 minutes?
Sure. We are taught in our divinely prepared book that man is composed of two selves. One, the higher self, two, the lower self, which is not so much two selves as separated. It's actually two aspects of the self. One is a higher and divine self. The other is a lower self, which is influenced by the carnal self, the body of desires. We say that the higher self is the mother of virtues and the harmonies of life and breeds justice, mercy, love, and right. We say that the lower self is the carnal self, the body of desires. It is a reflection of the higher self, distorted by the murky ethers of the flesh. And so what this means is that man has a lower nature and impulses that, if not checked by the higher divine side of man, that can bring man to ruin. We see that two of the greatest impulses that man has is sexual appetite and physical appetite. Without these two appetites, humanity would not exist. Humanity would not procreate. Humanity would not probably eat and as much as they should if this desire were not strong, and so it would threaten the human population to even exist. And so these are so strong that these are usually some of the main impulses that can get man off his journey and his purpose. And when I say man, I'm including man and woman. And so the sexual appetite, the physical appetite, if used properly, can cause health in a person, can cause one to have progeny and to have family and have a wonderful life. But if given over and not checked by the higher self, can lead to death, disease, and other peril on this plane. There are many impulses. And it's not about crushing these impulses because they're necessary, but it's about aligning them and guiding them with the higher self. We use books such as the Holy Quran of Mecca and our divinely prepared book, Circle 7 by Noble Jew Ali, to help guide us into ways that we can strengthen our higher selves and protect ourselves and our families from the lower self. And we say that this is reaching the temple of perfected man. And this is the purpose for which life is spent to build. In the Moorish Science Temple of America, Noble Jew Ali, the station that he holds is known as Prophet. And this is related to the verse in the Holy Quran that everyone will be sent a Rasul or a messenger. It's not to replace the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, which is the messenger of Islam. But the people in North America known as Moors were stripped of this. And so Allah sent a redeemer, a Rasul, a messenger to us, and we honor him as such. And it's also a station in the temple, just like you have a preacher in a church. The temple style structure, the leader of that is prophet. So I don't want people to be thrown off by, when they begin to study more science, if they're Muslim and they see the word prophet. It's not used in the sense of Islamic fiqh. It's used in a sense that was brought about in the West. It's English, it's not Arabic, and it carries its own connotation. And so, Noble Jew Ali taught us that if we were to be our higher selves, then that is aligning with the attributes of Allah, the principles of Allah, and we can experience a higher quality of life There's a verse in the Circle 7 that says, that speaks about the higher self being the David or the Dawood of purity, and the lower self being the Goliath, and that as good Muslims and as good Moorish Americans, the David of light must slay the strong Goliath of the dark and sit the Savior love upon the throne. So everything that we do in Moorish science and Islamism is based on love. That is the first principle. That is the highest principle. And this can be said to be the foundation of Islamism and Moorish science itself.
Wow. Interesting. With such a foundation being laid by the Prophet Noble Ali as early as 1913, if you were to give one reason why this message of love hasn't been more permeated among us, what would it be?
Well, there have always been forces that I guess you could say marginalize certain information for whatever reason they decide to do that. As the melanated people, the so-called Black people in this country begin to discover new information about themselves, sometimes it threatens those who want to keep a stronghold over them. And so there has definitely been some censorship of the teachings of Noble Ali. However, in the age of information, with the internet and other sources, it's made it harder to censor this type of information. And so even culminating in shows like this, where we can give a voice to it, because there's a lot of misinformation by people that are not a part of the temple and that are not involved in the movement. So it's time for Moors and Moorish Americans to have wonderful platforms like the platform that you have right now to create that dialogue, and so that we can get more word out about the universal teachings of Moorish science and how it relates to other teachings of other people. And then perhaps people will begin to see that we're not so different at all, and that we can all connect on universal pathways.
Definitely. Which segue me into a quick point that the information is becoming more prevalent. Recently, in a talk, in preparing for this interview, I saw where you discussed certain laws now that's being enacted in Chicago. Can you speak briefly to that?
Yeah, so it's not actually a law. There is a bill on the floor in Chicago, the House of Representatives, a resolution which aims at amending the racial classification of the racial classifications in general. When you fill out an application, there's a federal mandate, which is governed by the Office of Management and Budget, that creates the terms when they say, what's your ethnicity? And there's the white box, there's Black, African American, there's Indian or Pacific Islander. And so the amendment that's on the floor right now is to add Asiatic and Moorish as one of those racial classifications, which again just shows that Moorish American people are here, they are being heard politically, and that we're not going anywhere, and that the United States of America seems to be looking to try to find ways to incorporate our identity into the framework, so that we will not remain a marginalized people anymore with without a nationality, and have a choice. If you want to check the African American box and the Black box and these terms that were created for you, by all means, you have the right to do that. But if you are one who believes in human rights and believes that everyone has a right to a nationality and to classify themselves and identify themselves, you'll have the opportunity to check the Asiatic or Moorish box, which as Moorish Americans, we believe there's only one race, the human race, but our racial classification would be Asiatic. There's only two racial classifications, Asiatic and European, and we proclaim to be Asiatic. And our nationality, as I've stated, as Moorish American, meaning descendants of ancient Morocco and born in America, not the modern state which received its independence in 1956. Ancient Morocco goes back a lot further, and when you begin to look into that, you'll see melanated people that we're talking about that we descend from.
That is awesome. Well, thank you for speaking about your faith today. Thank you for giving Moors hope.
Yes, sir.
And thank you for spreading that love. With that being said, this is Universal Pathways, and I'm truly honored to be here with our guest, Nathaniel Booth Ill, the National Grand Chief of the United Moorish Science Temple of America. You can always join us, Millennium TV USA, Millennium TV 24 News, by downloading the app from your app store or from Google, and literally tune in. Thank you for watching us. This is a new show, and we're truly encouraged. Over 13 books as an author. Where can one read your books?
So my books can be found under the pen name Cosmo Ill. That is COZMO space EL. And they can be found at Amazon.com. If you just type in Cosmo Ill, COZMO space EL, my author page will come up and you'll have a selection of books to choose from. That's the easiest way to find my books.
And those who want to connect with you spiritually by way of your temples, what website can they go to?
They can go to prophetnoblejuali.org, or also they can email me direct at theministerofculture@gmail.com.
Okay. Thank you again. I'm your host, Curtis Douglas Ill, here at Universal Pathways, and I'm truly honored to have our first interview with the National Grand Chief of the United Moorish Science Temple of America, Cosmo Ill, rightfully known as Nathaniel Booth Ill. So with that being said, we'll see you on the next show. Go to break.